Hi, you can't buy a new camera, but you want to practice photography? No problem. My name is Alex Silva, and today on Image Weekly, let's talk about that. Hi there. You probably know that, well, of course, in photography, you need an instrument, pretty much like any other art. Whether if you are in painting, well, you of course need paint, or if you are into sculpture, well, you will need materials and things like that. Well, if you are into photography, you need a camera. However, if you are interested in photography, you're really novice, but cannot buy a new camera right away, well, you do have options. And I wanted to talk to you about two, probably three. The first one is you probably need to ask yourself if you need a new camera, because, well, you can go with a used camera, of course. If that is the case for you, well, there are many ways to get a used camera. Of course, you can get to eBay or any other online merchant thing with like that, like Mercado Libre or things like that. Of course, you can buy that. You can also go to pawn shops, and it's another very good option. In any case, before even you do that, you need to set a budget, because if you are struggling for resources, in this particular case money, it's important for you to set limits. Then you go to eBay or any other online place, or you go to a pawn shop. Let's make sure that you have a limit, because otherwise you're going to end up spending more, or you probably spend on some things but not in others. Let's make sure that we understand. If you're shooting digital, you need a camera body, a lens, and a memory card, and of course, either it is a computer or a tablet for you to process your images. So you're not only talking about buying a camera. Of course, you can buy not only an SLR but also a bridge camera. So you do have many options there. If you go with an SLR, go with and you're really struggling with money, you're probably going to go with you're going to look for an entry-level camera with a kit lens, but probably let's make sure that it's not super old, probably 1 or 2 years old. Now, there's another factor that you need to consider before buying the camera, in order to figure out the state, what is the status of this camera. If you can get a new unedited image from the camera, you can upload it to camerashuttercount.com. I'll make sure that I link to this website on the notes, and you can figure out how many shoots have been shot with that camera. That will help you determine, it's like finding out the mileage of a car, and the lower this number it is, the better. Another thing that I strongly recommend if you're going to buy a used camera is to inspect it thoroughly. Make sure that it is clean, of course, that it doesn't have any scratches or bumps, especially in the lens. Look for any scratches on the front of the lens. Look for any scratches on the front of the lens or on the back of it, but also on the bayonet and on the camera mount. If you see any scratches there, this camera was not very well taken care of, and it's probably better for you to keep looking around. Another very good test, and it's a very simple one, is to assemble the camera and shake it. If anything rattles, it's probably not a good sign. There are a few exceptions to this rule. Actually, this is one. This particular lens has an element that can rattle a bit. but just a tiny bit. Many other lenses shouldn't produce any sort of noise if you shake it. But if the camera that you're inspecting does have a rattle, keep looking. That's probably not a good sign. And of course, that is one option. Go with a used camera. Another option is, well, go with your current camera. Okay, let me explain here. One of the main recommendations for novice photographers is to use a camera with a fixed focal length, and it's not usually a normal lens, and it's a great advice because it gives you some constraints, and constraints make you more creative. I'll talk about that later or in a different video, but in any case, you'd probably have right now a camera with a fixed focal length. Your cell phone, your smartphone. And if that is the case, well, you don't need the top of the line smartphone in order for you to practice. I really like smartphones because they let you practice not only the technical aspects of photography but also the aesthetic. They help you with composition, and they let you practice a lot more in terms of composition, camera angles, things like that. And that is that is a piece of knowledge that will be valid or useful for any camera that you have. That you have in the future. So you can probably try and use the camera that you currently have while you save for a used or new camera, or use a new camera. And a third option that may or may not apply to you is to shoot film. Film is great in order for you to learn. Many people learned shooting film. However, things have changed a lot with film in the last few years, and it has become pretty expensive actually. But it depends on the place where you live. If there are still more than 2 or 3 labs that sell and develop film in your city, in your hometown, yeah, this is probably a good option for you, because the film cameras are super cheap right now. And if you have more than 2 or 3 labs, they'll probably still compete a bit in terms of price, and you will probably be able to find both the film and the film development at a reasonable price. But if you only have 1 or 2 labs that process film in your hometown, or maybe you don't have any film labs anywhere close to your home, that this may not be an option for you, because it will be even more expensive than it currently is. So I really hope I have this I tried or helped you solve this problem. You do have at least 2 options. Look for used cameras, use your current camera in your smartphone, or probably, if it applies to you, use film or shoot film. I really hope I helped you solve this problem, and if that is the case, of course, please like the video or leave a comment saying, hey, what do you think about it? And if you want to keep up to date with my videos, of course, subscribe to the channel. If you're reading this on the blog, you can share the post, you can subscribe to the weekly newsletter, and of course leave a comment. In any case, if for some reason you didn't quite get what I was talking about when I mentioned the lens and the bayonet or things like that, and you want probably a refresher course, I offer a free online course, online foundations course called Learn Photography in 7 Days. You can find it at learnphotography7days.com. And please remember, keep learning and keep shooting. See you.